2:30. I said to myself, well, how do you do? I gotta get on, so I soon got off. Stuck a clean shirt on and had a good cough. Back at the boozer, a bloke I knew said he knew a secret no one knew. He pinched some snuff and he sniffed and sighed, so I pinched his snout and he replied, Cannibal Chief, chew camembert cheese, 'cause chewing keeps him cheeky. Big fat Fred takes fur to his head.
It's Footy and Frollies. David's here. I'm here.
You're a weird son of a bitch.
And we're going to do a preview show. It's, round 8's upon us, ANZAC Day. So we've got, 8 games over 8 days or something bizarre.
Something like that.
So just before we get into that, obviously if you're listening on Spotify, subscribe to our socials, Facebook and Twitter for as long as I continue to put up with that cesspool. Might not be long, to be honest. But anyway, Instagram as well. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find us on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, all the good stuff, TuneIn Radio and that sort of thing. What have we got to talk about? Have you got any PCT stuff?
Nope.
No, I don't know about tipping. I went no good.
I got 6 this week, which was a bit of a turn of events, which is first time I think I've gotten above 4
I should have got
year,
7, but I'd somehow changed the Sharks at the last minute and somehow tipped the Dragons. Like I still don't, to this day, don't know how I did that.
We had the first full round of the weekend.
Yeah,
who
did that?
Gaz.
Did he really? Good on him.
Yes, he did. Went all the way through without missing one this week, which was
good teachers.
Interesting. Yeah, he could teach us a thing or two. Someone should teach us something.
Well, we're better coaches and players, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. I'm pretty sure our Footy and Frothies comp, Jaden's leading that at the moment. And Beaver and Jenny are up there again from last year. And
Jaden the Cannon?
Yeah, the three of us that run the joint right down the bottom somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, check out PCTC Sports Tipping. There is all sorts of stuff going on. They just finished, obviously, the Augusta Masters. They've got God knows what else coming up.
Oh, everything and anything just about.
Soon we'll be into the winter carnival tipping,
yes.
Which is all 4 states, 6 or 7 weeks, all 4 states, Brisbane, Adelaide, Sydney and Melbourne Metropolitan Saturday Racing.
NFL, EPL, and anything you can think of. Yeah, it's all there,
so just search PCTC Sports Tipping or Horse Tipping on Facebook or Instagram, I believe. Check out rugbyleaguemerch.com to get the good stuff there. And let's get into any Supercoach stuff we need to talk about.
Not overly. There's time, obviously, now that you'd be looking to shift people around and free up some money to bring in some of the bigger players. Still a bit iffy about Origin. Obviously, you really need to consider what's going to be happening during the bye rounds and who's going to be out for Origin for extended periods, because they don't just miss the week. They miss the week before, and a lot of times they miss the week after as well, or they play limited minutes the week after they come back from Origin. I haven't made any trades this week. I'm probably looking at maybe making one just to free up a little bit of cash for next week. But made any yourself?
I have moved. Who did I move on? Taruva. I bought Junior Tupou in.
Okay.
It is had to spend a little bit of cash, but bought him in. And I've moved Preston on. I've just got a feeling he might be about to get sort of sucked out to sea with the rest of the Canterbury team. Even though his base is good, so he's not. If you've got him and you're happy, more power to you. But I bought Ryan Madison in. I think he's good at this stage Origin proof. He's chumped out. I think he's pumped out an 80 and a 90. Mm-hmm. He's going to continue to do so.
Make some money. So's young Junior Tupu as well. So I think it's his third game.
In the can. I was disappointed Jerome Buller was only fullback. If he was a CT dual, I would have cashed in on someone.
Good name this week? Or?
He's playing this
week.
Okay. Jareem, I should say, which is exciting, but we'll get to that. Warbrick, Pereira have
just about reached their ceiling.
Have reached their ceiling, but I'm hoping to tread a bit of water and
if you can get.
And Warbrick may even become a valuable asset. I'm just starting, but I've got Marzu. I've got Val's pushing his luck.
Absolutely. I looked at him this week
through any fault of his own. And by the time people listen to this, he may well have pushed his luck and be out of the team, because it would mean I can bank.
Well, so you can get a huge chunk of change out of him.
Bank 200 on him. Yeah. I'd actually given thought to Harry Grant moving on just for a little bit, but I don't necessarily have a better answer that I'm confident in. Especially if I don't know. We know where he's at. Cook's been fantastic, but it's not a great deal of money right now. to trade up. If I was going to do it, I'd want some cash for it. The rest of it, I bought Mo in. I'm happy.
A little bit of money to Jeremy Marshall-King, but
Mo's there. If you don't have Haas by now, you're probably not getting him.
No.
But if you can get him, get him. Garrick's origin proof, but they're the usual. I've struggled a little bit around 5'8" because there aren't that many. I've missed the boat on Cody.
Not many that are playing very well either, apart from Walker.
Realistically, if you don't have Munster, Brown, and maybe Cody now, you're not really. AJ Brimson's on the horizon, so
Brown looks like he may be losing a little bit of money over the next couple of weeks.
He already has, but
again, he's somewhat. Well, I didn't. I jumped in only just recently. I jumped in last week. Lost a little bit of cash last week and probably lose a little bit next week, but then he'll sort of be running at an average. And
I've made some mistakes this season. First admit, I probably should never have traded Moses, but I rage traded him after like a week. So. That's how I've got Reynolds and Cleary. They'll do me. I'll nurse them as far as I can, given I've missed probably a Nico boat as well.
Weird, considering he was the most expensive player in the game and he's making money straight off the bat.
I'm just wondering if there's any massive pods. I got Ford cheap, so I was happy with him. I'll hold him a bit.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, not really. We're better off answering questions if people aren't writing in.
Absolutely.
We're only just fucking being a bit masturbatory here. So Dana will have 100 questions for us, so we'll answer that privately.
I generally don't look too far into it until later in the week. Obviously, it's even when the teams are named, it generally changes a little bit further down the track as well. Injuries at training and whatever kind of things like that. I have had a look around at some cheaper players that are in and around the mark, but you really want them on looking to increase their 3-game average because that's where the prices.
We're in that phase where they're all just lateral moves to me. Unless you're really
pretty much
jumping on a star, it's.
Or you're downgrading somebody.
You're trading a Warbrick for a Pereira.
Now's your time to cash in on those guys that have made you the 150, 250k, and
that's sort of why I'm happy to move Preston on. The whole idea was to make that money, and now I can get Madison. So there he is. Guzzi Crichton's back this week, so that's exciting. We'll see how he gets back into it. Robbo said that they're going to softly with him, so we'll wait and see till he's up to 80 minutes.
Probably someone who might drop a bit of cash and you can pick up in a couple of weeks' time.
So he's there and thereabouts, but, I don't know if we're really telling you on anything revolutionary here, so we may as well move on and kick off Anzac Day round just for us and those that'll be waiting for shows next week. We're going to do a Monday night show, I believe, before Anzac Day.
Cover the 6 games that are played.
To do the 6 games then we'll do the preview and talk about the Anzac Day games Wednesday night. So stay tuned.
Seems to be the only way we can really get around it, to have
Otherwise
it released before the Thursday for the next week when it starts again. So.
Exactly right. So that'll be the plan. So we'll work on that for now. But we're going to kick off at Accor Stadium with the Bunnies hosting Penrith and for the Rabbitohs. Colomatungi's gone, which sees Cheekham come back to the side, and Thompson returns to the backline with Tane Milne going back to 18th man for Penrith. Liam Martin's injuries got the better of him, so he is out of the side. Scott Sorensen starts, Eisenhuth and Leota the props still. Hoskins retains that other edge spot. Lindsay Smith onto the bench. Luke Garner, 18th man. How are we starting round 8?
I've just got a little bit of concerns about Penrith's middle. You saw what Newcastle did to them last week. I think they will be better than what the effort they put in this weekend just gone. But South, while they're still missing a few guys in the middle, have quite a big forward pack, and I can see them if they can gain the advantage in the middle of the field. You'll see the likes of Murray and Cook again being able to be freed up and then cause a bit of problems in the middle, which could lead to some points out wide with Walker and Latrell in pretty rare form at the moment. So I'm actually going to go with South Sydney to win 1-12. I'm going to go with man of the match to be Walker. Could possibly be Damien Cook, but I just think they'll get a little bit quicker service than what's been provided at the moment out of Kenny. And Sonny Luke has his good games and his average games, which is concerning. And the bench rotation, I think, for South Sydney will be more impactful than what you'll get out of this Penrith bench with a couple of smaller blokes on their bench. So.
Well, Lennu's the key, I guess, off the bench. And Salmon's actually been pretty good on it.
He has been pretty good
to date.
But the likes of your Mo Ali's and Saleh coming off, I think, will just,
And Saleh's been
add some
massive for
extra punch
that
in the
bench
middle.
size. Look, I set up. I tipped Souths the first time they met this year. I was disappointed. I
True.
decided that
Penrith,
Penrith
whipping boys.
Yeah, so I've decided that. But everything you said is what was going through my head.
The first
game,
game,
the team,
absolutely.
and looking at this team lineup, what's happening again, and they're down on troops, possibly even a few of the key players, i.e. Jerome Lua, down on form as well. So I'm going to stick to my guns and fuck it, I'm tipping Souths. I'm going to go Souths 1-12. As you can see from my decisiveness, I honestly thought
this was done on the spot.
I would open up and just to declare Penrith, but the more I thought about this, the more I'm uncomfortable. I like that Latrell's in form. I think he'll be up for this now. Walker's in a much better spot than he was. Did they have Burgess first game? It was his first game back, or they didn't have him. Joe Arrow back, which is massive, and you've covered off the rest. Even it's LA and host giving him some size. And just not having size in the other team, they do have some footwork, but Eisenhuth, Sorensen, Hoskins, no one is going to be scared of that forward pack when he's met the first time round. Hoskins obviously built himself a reputation, but I think you've covered off well. I'm going to go first try. Do you give a first try score?
Did I? AJ.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I am going to go first try scorer, Damien Cook.
Mm-hmm.
I think this could be a 15, 20-minute wrestle. And that ruck speed through the middle there, diving away, maybe even running 15 or 20 metres.
Very cool.
And scoring. And look, the Yo Murray clash is what we're going to talk about on Monday night.
Absolutely.
Let's give Murray a 10-8 round in this one and a 10-9 round, actually. No, I won't go that crazy. 10-9 in a good contest. Friday night kicks off, just the one Friday night game up at Darwin. Parramatta host the Broncos. Parramatta have get back Hodgson, who was crook last week. Hands goes back to the bench, and Makatoa leaves aside. Bailey Simonson comes back. Oh no, he's not named. He's cleared from his suspension and he's listed as a reserve. Corey Oates is back for Brisbane on the wing, which pushes Arthur's out, and Flegler's back, so that definitely helps the size there. In a key matchup with the forwards, Jensen on the bench with Hetherington, Tapau and Pakes. I've gone back and forward as well. And remember, there was this clash last year where it was a back-end clash where Brisbane just demolished them and looked like they were going to just win the comp. In fact, I said so, and then the wheels fell off. I'm going to go with Brisbane. This could go very deep. I can see this being a 4-6, maybe even a golden point game, going very deep. I think the forward clash is mouth-watering. Flegler starting with Haas. It's going to be game on from the start. But I think Brisbane will go faster for longer, and Reece Walsh at the back end will do what Reece Walsh has been doing at the back end, maybe with a match-winning try. First of the tries, though, will go to Herbie with some footwork. Actually, we're going to go with Katoni the other side on that Russell Dunster edge I mentioned in the review show.
Yep.
Man of the match will probably be P. Haas.
Nice. The 5 minutes I looked at this game, I changed. I've got about 3 different things scribbled out here. So switched in between Broncos 1-12, man of the match, left where I thought the game would be won. But I've gone with the Eels. I know they're on a short turnaround and they've got to go up to Darwin to play this match, but I just think Sean Lane back another week better. Brown on that left edge was a little quiet in the last game, although he was still decent. I just expect that combination that was deadly at points last year to kick back in this game. And I think Sivo and Penasini may cause some serious issues for the outside backs from the Broncos, who I think yet have really been yet to be really tested out wide with a strong attack coming at them.
Also, Moses' kicking game, his short kicking game's been so good this year, and you've pointed out many times how they're
rushing outside
back defence could set up for points out wide there.
Yeah, so I just think that there'll be a bit of an edge in the halves with both of Parramatta's halves contributing very well compared to maybe Reynolds having a really good game and Mam maybe not having a great game, but still being decent. And the forward pack is the matchup. The front row.
It's Origin.
It's
Origin.
It's going to be an absolute pleasure to watch, I would imagine. But yeah, I'm just going to stick with Parramatta 1-12. Dylan Brown, man of the match, and first try scorer Sean Lane.
It does have a little bit of a Gutho feel to it. You can see 30-degree Darwin weather. Everyone's fucked.
Continually
and then
going
he's just
and going.
matted hair and keep going and carrying on. Anyway, 5:30 Saturday. What am I going to do during the afternoon? Probably bet.
Probably.
Bulldogs host the Sharks.
Wouldn't put it past you.
No, something different.
Yeah.
No Carraz. So Declan Casey comes into the side and Braden Byrne comes onto the other wing. Jake Avarillo has been named, but there is a concern over him, and Davey similar named. Ockenball's gone to the bench, and Tapine is on the extended bench from the bench last week. If that makes sense. Fitzgibbon has named the same 1-17 as last week. We expect Finucane will be back in Magic Round. Poor old Bulldogs, they can't take a trick here. We've seen how much these outside backs have struggled now. They've lost the key personnel, and this could be a Nico feast. Spreading the ball early, spreading the ball late. There'll be whole runners all over the stop. I can see both back rowers scoring. I can see both wingers scoring. If you're going to have a same-game multi, this would be the game to do it.
We'll get to that. I've got one for you.
So I'm going to go Sharks 13+. They may rack up. They would have to actually play particularly poorly to not rack up a total, actually. But the forward clash is going to be good because it's their only hope from the Dogs. But second half blowout coming here. First try scorer, Talakai hasn't really got on a board yet, so let's just go with him. But I could almost assure you it's going to be one of the Cronulla wingers. And, Nico will probably get 3 points.
Yeah, I agree with everything you've said. The only real difference I've got is I think Will Kennedy will have a blinder in this game. I think they'll press earlier than what they have with Nico running into the line, and I think he may just sit back a little bit in this one and feed the ball to Kennedy to link up with the outside men, which got me having Kennedy as man of the match and Ronaldo first try scorer on the edge for the Sharks. And, yeah, I can see plenty of points coming the way of the Sharks. Well, it should be. Be disappointed if there's not.
Oh, I've just noticed Flanagan's been named at 6, and a good friend of the show, Trent, has got his wish, and Burton's at 7.
Yeah, right.
Whatever that means.
A few more touches, a little bit more involvement.
I guess he's playing first receiver. The extension of that is Oluwapu is named at 19, so
right, okay.
I guess we'll see what happens come.
May even be switched in there before the game kicks off.
Come Saturday evening. Cowboys and Knights at Queensland Country Bank. For the Cowboys, Ruben Cotter moves to lock with Tomalolo out. Jordan McLean timely return means he goes into the front row. Granville goes onto the bench. Ponga is back at 6, which pushes Gamble to 14. Jacob Saifiti comes back from his suspension. He's on the bench as well. And Kurt Mann will start the game at lock. Yeah, good game. What are we thinking? Don't know about good game. But
impressed with Newcastle, what they've been doing in the middle of the field and especially out wide. The Cowboys haven't looked like having many points of attack, whereas points have not been Newcastle's problem this year. Their main issue has probably been their defence out wide, and I don't think that's really going to be tested too much at the moment from this Cowboys team. I do expect them to score more points than they have been scoring recently, but I just think there's more points in this Newcastle team than there is in the Cowboys team. And unless they kick the front door down, the Cowboys, and really pressure the middle of the field for the Newcastle team, I can see Newcastle probably getting close to putting a gap on them and winning by 10, 12 points. Newcastle 1-12. Lachlan Miller's been their star. I think Ponga probably helps. To be honest, it's another player that can provide options out wide, and now they've got two of them coming at them with decent speed and footwork, and both that can throw a decent cutout pass as well. So, just provides another option for a Newcastle team that's been going quite well in attack. So, Miller, man of the match. Gagai, first try scorer, Newcastle 1-12.
1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. 1-12. Yeah, I'm with Newcastle too. They're trying harder. Well, I'm going to say trying harder, but they are trying harder. They're working harder. They're bashing
Working
teams,
harder, definitely working
and they have points in them this year. And I think they'll take confidence out of last week.
Absolutely.
And they'll take confidence of the wins they've got. I'm going to give Jackson Hastings man of the match because I think with the 2 points of attack now, he'll try and keep a clear head around them and direct Ponga where he needs to go and direct Lockie where he needs to go. That said, I can see another massive game from Frizzell here. I think he's firing, and
Absolutely.
they can monster this. They can actually monster this forward pack, which Gazowski's starting in the back row. Like, it's a small forward pack. They could just bash them out of the game, and then the backs will have their way with them. First try scorer, I'm going to go with Lachlan Fitzgibbon, running that line that we all know that he's going to run. And as I already touched on, man of the match. I'm tempted. I'm going to go 1 to 12, but I'm tempted to go 13 plus.
So was I.
And I'm also tempted to say this might be the nail in.
Because even if the forwards get going, you got the likes of Marzu who's been coming in and absolutely belting forwards as well, with running the ball.
Young or Marzu are going to create tries themselves. I just think there's points. Fuck it, 13 plus GT. Let's go 13 plus. Better the weekend than $2.15. 15. We'll get to that. The Dolphins host the Titans 2:00 Sunday. And Kafusi's back just in time to cover for Kenny Bromwich. Otherwise, Jared Wallace comes back too from his HIA. He's going to be on the bench. That's a big in, actually.
He's a big in.
AJ Brimpson is named on the extended bench. We'll keep an eye on that. Jojo Fafita gets a starting wing spot back from injury. For now, what do we got here? Yeah, Mo, Tino,
who's dropped
Fafita.
out?
Shoop is gone.
Ah, right.
Dropped Shoop, so that's interesting.
He hasn't provided a lot in attack. He's been good in defence, but yeah.
Yeah, Tom McHaley adds some spark to the bench. Joe Stimpson's still starting, as is Liu, so we'll see how long that lasts as well. Actually, you go first, because
I was impressed with what the Titans did in the middle of the field last week, and I think if they can match this Dolphins team, as I said, I think there's a bit of a sniff around that the Dolphins are starting to sort of really hit a patch where few of their middles need a bit of a rest. So I think if they can match them for at least the first half, they may bear fruit in the second half and score enough points to get away with this game. I think it still will be close right until pretty close to the death in this match, but I'm going to back in the Titans at 1 to 12. I think David Fafita's going to be back to his destructive best here. I think he's going to cause a lot of problems. He's going to be running at the likes of Nikarima and young Katoa and end up with man of the match with a whole heap of runs and probably the first try as well.
I do think that Dolphins are closing in on that collapse game, but that might be what they want us to think too.
Yeah, possibly.
So,
possibly.
That's why I'm having second thoughts. Like they are tough war horses, these forward pack. I'm going to stay solid and tip the Titans from what you said before. They ran pretty well with Brisbane last week, and I think coming here sets up well. They'll take confidence out. Their forward backs humming, at least most of them. And McHaley adding that size on the bench, which was what we lamented at the start of the year, so it is a tick there. And Foreign, better for the run. Will be better for that and add some more here. First try, Khan Pereira, stick there, running past Robert Jennings. And man of the match, I'm going to go Tino. I think he'll have a point to prove from last week. But take your pick of those three. Only just because you've already said Fafita. I'm just going to mix it up. 4:00 at Campbelltown. The Tigers host the Seagulls. For the Tigers, off the bye, Jareem Bula makes his first grade debut with some hype around him. And very interesting to see how he goes. Which pushes Staines onto a wing. Kapoa into the centres. And Brendan Wakeham's gets a 6th spot for now. Dane Laurie is named at 14. Offarangawe 15. At 12, 16. Tommy Talau 17. I can't imagine him playing two backs on the bench, so I assume either Seyfarth Bloor or Matamua come in to the bench, or Kapoa maybe starts on the bench and plays back row. For Manly, they have Schuster back. He comes back after missing 3 games. Ruben Garrick's back from concussion, and Tuolangi will sit out due to concussion with Bullimore starting. Sean Kepi and Fainu come into the side. Samuela Fainu. Look, I'm not going to tip the Tigers, but I have a feeling that Manly would be right for the picking after the clash last week, and coming up against the Tigers forward pack fresh that have been doing the right thing, have been having the most play the balls in the opposition 20 in the comp. It's going to be a great clash of another physical, I would hope. The problem is Manly have Daly Cherry-Evans and Tom Travojevic. The Tigers do not. So that is the main concern. I'm going to say Manly 1-12. I think this could be a bit of a grind and potentially devolve into an ugly game. DC man of the match because he'll be the difference. And Tommy first try because he's the other name I just mentioned. Excited to see Buller. He's got some hype on it. He's going to be the second coming of Teddy on debut. But he was... but just as interesting to see what he got. And they've blooded Tupou well enough. Hopefully there's a bit of spark at the back there. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going to follow you in with most of it, to be honest. I'm going to go DCE man of the match. I think he'll provide some points in this one, and his kicking game will be tremendous, as always. I'm going to go with, Manly 1-12. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Tigers go in the lead at halftime, just to break your heart one more time. But obviously off the back of such a physical encounter last week, I think Manly may just jag one early and then sort of switch off for a bit of that first half, and Tigers, if as you said, with ball time in possession and in the right position, they may be able to jag a couple just before half time. But I expect class to prevail and Manly to win 1-12. I'm going to go with Ola Kawatu, first try scorer on that right edge.
Yep, beautiful. Anzac Day. Next Tuesday, 4 o'clock, is the traditional Roosters and Dragons clash. The Roosters, Sam Walker's been dropped back to Reggie's. Manu moves to 5'8", Kiri to half. Momirovski comes into the centre, and they welcome back Angus Crichton, who is named to start after getting through last week. Yeah. Tupanua comes back onto the bench for his first game since round 18 last year. Good as him back. And Nathan Brown's on an extended bench. Egan's starting. Just having a look here. And Fletcher Baker was concussed. Okay, right. And for the Dragons, Ben Murdoch Masilla comes back in after playing reserve grade. And Sewer is not. He's dropped.
Really? Wow.
So there you go.
Wouldn't have been one of the first ones I'd be dropping, that's for sure. But I think the Roosters will do a job here. I think they've been poor. They'll be looking for points. They'll be on the hunt to try and blow somebody away in this game. And Manu in at 6. You've heard us wax lyrical about Manu for years now, even though Ollie's claimed it this year for some reason. I don't know where that came from, even though we've spent 2 years blowing up his tyres.
He did declare him the top 10 player in the game very early on. I'll give him that.
But, I think Roosters 13+. I think Joey Manu stars, is man of the match. Hands on the ball all over the place, causing all sorts of problems on both sides of the ruck. And I'm going to go with Teddy to score the first try.
I think so too. I think 13+. I think there'll be some clarity here, and I think it'll just be a nice drop in grade. Those that are going back to play the Dragons, they're going to have a bulk of field position. There will be just the one half.
Some frail edges to aim at.
And just a bit more confidence. Guzzy's back out there. Tupanua's going to come on and free his arms up and
did hear today that Guzzy looks the fittest that he's been in years. Yeah, right. So
I hope he is. I hope he's back to his best.
He's buzzing around at training. But
so he and I hope he's in a great frame of mind.
Yeah,
and more power to him. I look forward to seeing it. I'm not expecting fireworks first up, but I hope he does. In fact, fuck it. First try scorer, Angus Crichton. We'll go with the romance story here. And Joey Manu, man of the match, same thing. He'll just be let off the leash here and probably have a point to prove, I think, because he can probably stamp himself as the 5'8" here.
Yeah, and he can run over blokes. His ball playing's quite good.
Well, we didn't touch on it, actually. What about last week where they named him by to start and then started with Little and just sacrificed us?
No, apparently they didn't sacrifice an interchange. It was they came up and cleared that out, but there is an investigation into what's going on, and there probably will be fines coming their way.
Righto.
So
anyway, by starting, I could this.
So Little's actually going to take the field.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
But that's just the thing, when your team's going bad and you just these little fuck ups like that, that should never ever happen in a professional football organisation, and it just shows you where they're at.
100%. And they're not the only team in that bit situation. We'll see how much longer Hook has a job. The 7 o'clock on Tuesday night, we get the other tradition, Storm and the Warriors. Meany's back to fullback, which means Munster's back to 6. They also get Nelson back, starting at prop with Christian Walsh. All that looks much healthier. Tarek Sims again at 17. For the Warriors, Niakore's back. Curran goes to the bench, and Wade Egan is yet to be cleared. He's cleared, sorry. He's named on... No. Hooker Wade Egan was cleared to return, but they've given him another week off. Okay. Right. Sorry, misread that. Alrighty. Interesting one, Barn.
Yeah, I just think this is a classic Melbourne ambush for me. I think they've, they would be absolutely seething in what happened last week in the way that they got folded through the middle of the field. Nelson back is massive. He was the heart and soul of the middle to start this season, and the only reason they were kept in a couple of these games. I can see him and Welsh absolutely causing problems and shutting down this Warriors middle for a good part of this game. And on the back of that, Meany back, Munster back in the position he should be playing. I expect a lot of points coming out of this Melbourne team. I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors still put on 16 or 20 as well, but I can see it being high 30s, plays 20, and the Storm really putting a stamp on this one down at home, 13+. Man of the match, Munster, and I'm going to go first try scorer Nelson. Coming back, point to prove, crash over, first try.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Melbourne 1-12. I want to sort of be bullish on the Warriors, but I think they'll have better, a bit like the Roosters have better clarity this week with everyone being back where they should. Nelson's back, everyone feels a bit, Meany's back even, a bit more continuity to it all. So I'm going to, said 1-12. Maybe let's go an Anzac Day Golden Point game, for a bit of excitement. Nice. Just because this could be, I can see this being a real slog, and like Grant and Munster.
The Warriors could absolutely take it to them. Yeah, absolutely.
I can see sort of 16 plays, maybe 18, or 16, 17, for example, and just Munster and Grant dragging them, kicking and screaming into that position. Warriors had a lot of work to do last week, though, so a bit iffy on all of
part of the reason I think that it might break open late.
So, for the record, I will put my tip into the ESPN app as the Storm, but hopefully it goes down the wire and provides us with some entertainment. First try scorer, let's go with Montoya against the Green. Man of the match, Cam Munster's in red-hot form and back in position. We'll suit him down to the ground. Punting disaster class, Barn, what do you got for us? Did anything win last week?
No, we both missed. I missed by one leg in my bigger bet, and I think you missed on just about everything again.
It's Sevo first try, and he scored second.
Coates and Warbrick to score. Warbrick scored.
Warbrick scored, Coates didn't.
Anyway, you're sitting at minus $210 at the moment. I'm sitting at minus $32.50 after dropping 50 last week. I've gone with the Storm and Roosters as a double, 13+ to get you $4. I'm going to have $30 on that. David Fafita, first try scorer at $17. I have $10 on that. And I'm going to go with the Sharks. Four players, anytime try scorers, both wingers in Katoa and Mulatalo, Ramian and Niakora on the right-hand side. $15.25. I'm going to have $10 on that.
Beautiful. I'm just going to get that $200 back. I'm going to have $50 on Newcastle head-to-head, all up the Titans head-to-head. You can get it's about $4.80 something-ish. So call it $5 between friends, and to get us back up there, you'll find it with your various boosts and whatever else those people get to use. What's got you frothing this week?
Thursday night, mate. I think it's the game of the round, absolutely. Penrith, I think, will have to play really well in the middle of the field if they're to win this match, and I expect it to be a fair bit of back and forth for a while until a few of those class attacking players put some points on at the back end for South to win that one. But I think Thursday night is probably the game of the round for mine.
I'm going to go with a couple of red-hot forward clashes on the back of some red-hot forward clashes. Parramatta and Brisbane props.
Yep.
Up absolutely. In the heat at Darwin, slogging it out. Plenty of good slow-mo shots up there.
Sweat spraying off the head.
Off people. And similar, I think the Dolphins and the Titans on the back of last week. Dolphins, as we said, maybe redlining, and Mo and Tino and Fafita finding some form. I think that's going to be a cracking clash as well.
Absolutely.
So those two forward battles looking forward to. Good job, Barn. Got through it again.
You too.
Another one in the book. Enjoy this weekend. I'll see you Monday. I'll probably see you before then. We'll be back Monday to talk about the majority of the round, and then again Wednesday. Be good, guys. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy ANZAC Day.
You guys will get your shows on Tuesday and Thursday morning, I would imagine.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
See you then.
Bye.